Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports.
Next game.
The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Little fast on that one. Sorry, guys. But we got the Buccaneers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-15. Real quick, anything before we get into my game notes, anything that you guys took away from the game? Maybe we'll start with Eric. You're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. What did you take away from the game on Sunday?
Bucs defense looked really good against a not NFL ready quarterback yet. So, and that's, I mean, their defense looked a lot better. Their offense didn't surprise me too much. I was a little surprised how much points they put up due to them being down 2 wide receivers. But in the end, I guess, the big thing was the defense looked really good. But again, it was against Jalen Hurts, who isn't terrible, but I don't think he's NFL ready. He's a great quarterback by any means.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's really good either. He's very inconsistent. That's the problem with Jalen Hurts. Okay, then if nothing more to add, let's just talk about Jalen Hurts. So he went 23 of 43, 258 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Guys, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, I know we're talking about this game. Are you confident in this guy moving forward? Anybody?
I've been a semi supporter of him from early on, but they might have had a better chance with Minshew playing this game.
Oh, we're going to talk about that because I'm sure Luke would want us to, but it was just crazy because I felt like the Tampa Bay was putting 8-9 guys in the box. They were kind of pressing and I can't remember who was doing the game, but they kept on saying they needed to go to the one-on-one matchups. And they were basically doing were bubble screens, quick passes, it just didn't seem like they even trust him to make the plays that they needed to win, But yeah, I don't know. I'd have a hard time now. We'll talk about Philly's offseason, but they do have 3 first-round picks in the draft. So who knows what they could do with that? Maybe trade for Russell Wilson. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Already talking about the offseason. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Eagles defense played good enough to win. I felt like after the Bucs got up 17-0, the defense sort of figured something out and they held the Bucs to 17 points for the longest time. And the offense was just so inept that the defense finally broke down. And that's why, do you feel like if there was a different quarterback in there? Let me ask Eric, because you're the Bucs fan. Do you feel like if there was a different quarterback in there, do you think that the Eagles had a better shot of winning?
Well, depends on your definition of different quarterback, not Gardner Minshew, sorry. No, you put a different quarterback in there, one who's actually, good at passing the football, which usually helps playing quarterback. You're going to have a better chance of winning. But I do feel like that Tampa took their foot off the gas a little bit too, because they're killing. Well, they got up really quick and they were dominating the ball game. I think they were just trying to kill some clock after a bit. So
no, I agree. Yeah, no, that's the way it feels. Even the 15 points the Eagles score seemed a little garbage timey, right? Yeah. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring out that point, Ryan, is the only points they scored were in the fourth quarter when it was garbage time, and that's the only time the Buccaneers didn't score. So at that point, the game had already been decided, so it was kind of just a whatever, we don't care anymore. A desperation for the Eagles still trying to hang in there, I guess, but it just wasn't pretty for them. The defense did do well, especially compared to the Eagles offense, but just wasn't enough to get them in there.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's look at our next point here. 9 total runs by the Eagles for being a run-heavy team. They did get down by 17 points quickly, but I felt like they abandoned the run too quickly. You got to keep that defense honest. And I know that they stacked the box, but they weren't taking advantage of that anyway. You know what I'm saying? They weren't trying to throw it over the top of them or anything like that. So to me, I felt like that was a little poor game planning. The reason why they got to the playoffs was they were a run heavy team. Let's see here. Let's go on to the next one. Tom Brady still got it. How old is this dude?
44.
What in the world, guys? Whatever he's drinking, I want some.
He gave Giovanni Bernard his super steroids, the TB12 plan, whatever the cocktail is. He gave it to Giovanni Bernard to come back and be useful.
I heard it's avocado tequila. That's what I heard.
Okay, so we're all gonna start drinking avocado tequila. Yeah, that guy is just so good at 44 still. I just, being down, like Eric, you mentioned earlier, 2 weapons. It's just remarkable what he's still doing at the age of 44. And they didn't have much of a run game either in this game, right? So it was just kind of like all on him.
Their starting running back was out this game too.
Fournette, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Fournette was out, so they had to rely. And I think Ronald Jones was out too, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they were down to Giovanni Bernard and Le'Veon Bell and Keyshawn Vaughn, who had an okay game, but that's nothing to write home about it.
No, they need Fournette back, I think.
Yeah.
Finally, Mike Evans. He's kind of like one of those big receivers who deals with injury off and on. And it seemed like he was actually healthy this game. He had 9 receptions for 117 yards and a touchdown. And he was playing against Darius Slay, who is a top, 15 at least, maybe even higher. I would put him higher personally. I haven't looked at the stats, but at least a top 10 corner in the league. So the fact that he was able to do that maybe is a good sign for Buccaneers fans moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to some. Oh, this is another key point. 2 injured offensive linemen in the game for the Buccaneers. So moving forward, that could be a bad thing for the Bucs. Eric, have you heard anything about the 2 that got injured? I think it was the center and the tackle.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs, who's their all-pro tackle, who he got injured. He has ankle sprain, sounds like. And he ain't going to practice till Friday is what I read. And I believe the other one was Ryan Jensen, who's their center, if I remember correctly. And I remember he's a center, but the injury. And then I believe he was limited participation today. I don't remember 100% on that, but it sounds like he'll probably play on Sunday when they verse whoever wins tonight.
Yeah, tonight, yeah.
Yeah, so they will at least have their center, but Tristan Wirfs being gone, if he is gone, is a pretty big loss because he's an amazing right tackle.
Yeah, I think it would be because whoever wins, you either have Chandler Jones or you're going to have Von Miller and Aaron Donald. So I mean, that's going to be a little tough matchup.
Their backup tackle is dealing with a hamstring issue too. So,
oh boy, yeah, you might be onto a third tackle. Okay, let's get
hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the points I wanted to bring out to me, and I know you 2 of you guys touched on, I think Chris and Eric did, but maybe I'll talk to Zach for a second here. Gardner Minshew, obviously he's the better quarterback, the thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts. Do you think that the Eagles had a better shot at winning this game if Gardner Minshew would have started?
For the sake of Luke, I'm going to say yes. Honestly, I mean, playing against the team like the Buccaneers, you're going to have to throw, most likely. I agree with you that they kind of abandoned the run earlier than I would have liked to have seen. But then you have to throw the ball. You have to be able to be efficient at throwing the ball, and Jalen Hurts just is not that kind of a quarterback. So, I mean, they can't predict that's going to happen, though. So they went with who they've been using this whole year. Had they started Minshew just for the fun of it, I think they would have had a better chance for sure. Doesn't mean they would have won, and I still think they would have lost. But It would have been a lot more interesting of a game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just felt like they needed a quarterback that could read defenses better and notice hey, to me, Minshew is the kind of guy that takes chances, so I don't think he would have been afraid to throw the ball. So I do think they would have had a better shot with Minshew. I thought at halftime they should have made that change personally, but I don't think they would have won either way. Chris?
It's tough to pull your
Oh.
starting quarterback in the middle of a game like that.
Yeah, it's true.
But when you're desperate. No, just looking at the box score, Devontae Smith, who's by far their best offensive player, 11 targets and 4 receptions. And Dallas Goddard, also a very good player, 12 targets and 6 receptions. So less than 50% completion rate, targeting their only 2 good receivers.
Yeah. And just a more accurate, better quarterback, a thrower of the football, I should say, is kind of what they needed. And Eric, we know what you think. Gardner Minshew is trash. We all heard it here first. Luke, I will give you Eric's number and you can respond to him accordingly. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the Eagles offseason. So what do we think about the Eagles offseason? What would we like them to do? Or maybe one thing we're looking forward to maybe a little bit? Maybe I'll start with Chris.
They desperately need a number 2 and a number 3 receiver. They should take one in the first round because Jalen Reagor is horrible. And Quez Watkins is also horrible. So they need help. Devontae Smith is legit, but they need help opposite from him.
Yeah, I like Devontae Smith. How about you, Eric? What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty much would be my opinion of the Eagles, if they decide what they want to do with Jalen Hurts, back and forth. If you want him to be a QB of the future, then you need to build an offense around him. And his strong suit isn't always throwing the football. So you got to figure that out.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I'm with both of those guys. It's developing Hurts if you're going to have him be your guy, and then maybe drafting a wide receiver who can fit that bill, who can work with him in a game that would work for Hurts. So if you combine everybody's comments together and create that, that's what I think they're going to look for.
Yeah. I wonder, like I mentioned this earlier, but I just wonder if they'll take those 3 first-round picks and like try to get like Russell Wilson or something like that. And you could throw Hurts in the trade as well, And then I just wonder, like with the wide receivers, right? We talk about like how good they're not, but if you don't have a solid QB, like how do you know? I'm saying like, how do you know if you don't have a guy who can actually pass the football? So that would be my only rebuttal to that. I'm not saying that they're good. I'm just saying like it maybe if you get a better quarterback back there, they might look a little better.
I totally forgot that Jalen Reagor was a first-round pick last year. So he's got 64 catches in 2 years, which is really bad. But I totally forgot that they used a first-round pick on him. Another quick one, I would say, just based on observation over the last couple of years, number 49 for the Eagles, Alex Singleton, is one of the single worst starting defensive players I've ever seen. And I was shocked that a couple of their late season games that I've watched that he was starting, because I saw him like the last 2 years. I'm like, wow, he's getting burned in coverage every single highlight play. And he's still starting for them. So probably an upgrade at linebacker as well.
Yeah. I could see 2 different routes. It could either go with the long rebuild, use those first round picks and get a couple of really good playmakers, like at linebacker and wide receiver. And then they could also trade those picks and build around a veteran quarterback. If they could get, I'm just saying, if they could get someone like Russell Wilson, I don't know if you pass that up. Okay. Brady versus Bill. I wanted to talk about this for 1 second because we talked about the Patriots losing, Tom Brady winning again. He won a Super Bowl. So what's your guys' take, Brady or Bill? What do you think that Brady hands down has won this, or do you feel like maybe we got to be a little bit more patient with Bill? Or do you think it's like we shouldn't really talk about it because they're both great in their own way, and that maybe it's harder to coach an entire team than to maybe be a great quarterback?
Yeah, I think it's a symbiotic relationship. I don't know if I could say one is definitively better than the other one.
Okay. Yeah.
Got to give Belichick more time. That's its reality, because he got to still build his team. You lose a key person like your starting quarterback, then you got to rebuild from there. That's just the way it works.
Yeah. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think it's way harder to be a coach trying to manage a whole team versus, I mean, obviously Brady is great. There's no doubting that, but he also has great weapons around him that he was given, if you will. Whereas, Belichick's now got to build around him. So it just takes a lot more time to do that. It's a lot more difficult to do that. Not saying being a quarterback is easy, but I think it's a lot easier than trying to manage a whole team.
Yeah, I agree. And it's his second year after losing his Hall of Fame quarterback. He's already back in the playoffs. So I think that says something. Real quick, one word answer. Who do you want the Bucs to play next week, Sunday? Okay, let's start with Zach. Rams or Cardinals?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't really care because I'm a Tampa Bay fan. So this is an Eric question. But who would I like to see? I'd like to see the Cardinals probably. I think the Rams they're too overhyped. Everybody's too much about them. So I'd like to see them lose.
Wow, you are going to get kicked off this podcast very quickly, Zach.
I didn't say anything about the Dolphins, Ryan. Come on, they can still win this. Oh wait, no, sorry, they're out too. Yeah.
Ouch. What do you? Who would you like to see him play, Chris?
Heart says Cardinals. Head says Rams.
Okay. What about you, Eric?
I'm gonna agree with them about Cardinals because the Rams have kind of beat Tampa last couple years. I want to say, except Jameis Winston game, and who wants to count that? So yeah, no, I'd rather see them versus the Cardinals just because I think that's a easier matchup for Tampa than the Rams.
Okay, yeah. So you'd like the Cardinals over the Rams as far as an advantage goes. My heart and head agrees. The Rams. Come on, that's the entertaining game. Overhyped. Look at you talk, Zach. I can't believe you.
We'll see what happens tonight. We got 3 minutes to kick off, Ryan. We'll see what happens.
3 minutes? I thought it started at 7:30.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's 7:00 ish. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So let's keep her moving. Well, there you have it. That was our thoughts on the recapping of the Bucs versus the Eagles. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of the game. Do you think Hurts is the way to go for the Eagles? How far do you think the Bucs can go? Please let us know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, click on the link below. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.